Live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Nolan Hawkeye Anthony YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. Go ahead and get up in the chat. I am going to share this out a little bit. Let me share this out. Just take a moment. Iowa, of course, moves to 3-1. It would be 3-1 on the season. This was a much more going into the game. This appeared much more of an important game than maybe after the game now, but nonetheless, going into the game, this definitely was a must win. And the game had significance. The reality is, there's so many paths to winning the Big Ten West. I like to say, you need to try and take care of business with your crossover games against, the Big Ten East. But there's multiple ways. And frankly, as I said in my preview video, Iowa was the more talented team. And they were favored to win this game. So that is what it is. All right, guys, I'm sharing this out. Stay in the chat. Just sharing this out real quick. Be sure to share it out for you guys as well. Just going to do a couple more things here, and we will get rocking and rolling. Boy, if you like exotic football, if you like offense, the Iowa Hawkeyes just are not for you. You just cannot be an Iowa fan, I guess. Man, oh man, I got a lot to say tonight, guys. Lot to say. And I will get to the comments. Again, you guys can send a super chat, support the channel. You guys know, regardless of all that, I just love having you here and love talking Iowa Hawkeye sports. Somebody said to me in the comments that my channel was the one place that he could be honest about his takes with regards to Iowa football. And I really do appreciate that. A lot of people say that they are, I don't want to turn this political or anything. A lot of people say that they are for freedom of speech until, of course, they come across somebody who disagree or says something they disagree with, and then they're not for freedom of speech. And you'll find very quickly people say, well, what they said was not nice towards me or something like that, even though it wasn't personal at all. But I really appreciate him saying that. And, I really do want you guys to share everything. I don't filter any comments. I don't delete comments. I want you guys to feel that you can give your genuine thoughts on the Iowa Hawkeyes and the game. All right, here we go. So let's start with the Iowa Hawkeye offense. If I had to rate this game, maybe I shouldn't start right off with this, but I will. If I had to rate the Iowa Hawkeye offensive performance, I'd probably give it a C again. There were good things. There were bad things. The one thing that just kills me with the Iowa Hawkeye offense I don't know if you guys remember this play, but on a 3rd and 1, Brian Ferentz calls a play where instead of just pounding it right up the gut or doing a quarterback sneak, he decides to do an offhand to Caleb Johnson, which of course gets stuffed for a 2-3 yard loss. And it's like the Iowa offense, Brian Ferentz, always decides to be sexy or decides to be, imaginative when, of course, they don't need to do it. That's a perfect play to just do and play Iowa Hawkeye football. Ram it down their throats. End of story. My grade of the Iowa Hawkeye offense is a little bit tilted in that they were up by such a safe margin for a huge portion of the game that pretty much in the whole second half, they were just pretty much playing safe. Pound the ball, throw, pound the ball, throw, pound the ball, throw. That's what they were doing. Spencer Petras went 11 for 17, 148 yards. With that being said, I thought Spencer Petras did not miss as many passes as he did last week. I thought he was fairly accurate today. He had a few drop balls. Sam Laporta definitely has a case every now and again of the Butterfingers, unfortunately. So I don't think Spencer Petras played. Honestly, guys, totally frank, I think this was Spencer Petras's best game of the season. Now, in all reality, this was a very average performance. As I said last week, people jumped down my throat. Some people, not all, jumped down my throat for saying that Spencer Petras played an average game last week. Of course, I need to be positive about Iowa all the time. But again, it is average, and I got to call it for what it is. Now, I do think that this was Spencer's best game, and I don't think he missed too. I only saw one or two passes that he absolutely missed unequivocally. He hit on a deep ball to Sam Laporta, which was nice. I thought this was his best game. Again, comparatively average performance, but for Spencer Petras and the Iowa Hawkeye offense, I would say this was probably his best game. The Iowa Hawkeyes got it done on the ground. LaShawn Williams had 64 yards, Caleb Johnson 58, Gavin Williams 17. This is going to be a three-headed monster all year long, guys, all year long. And I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb Johnson ends up being the number one back at the end of this season going into next season. He is simply too talented, guys. And you can see this right off the bat with him. His vision is probably the best of any of the three running backs that Iowa has. Gavin Williams had a few nice, patient runs. Same with LaShawn Williams. LaShawn Williams had statistically the best night. But Caleb Johnson, especially in that first half, was getting 7 yards a pop each time he touched the ball. His future is bright in Iowa City. Of course, you got to knock on wood, as Iowa used to have a problem with losing their running backs, but that hasn't been an issue for a while. I think, he seems to be a good kid, so hopefully that stands pat. Receiving, Sam Laporta had 77 yards. Luke Lachey had 37 yards, a.k.a. Luke Lackey. LaShawn Williams had 19 yards. Gavin Williams, 10 yards. Only one Iowa wide receiver caught a ball, and that was Arlen Bruce for 5 yards. And this is my thing, guys. Never have I seen in such an ass whooping, such a boring performance. It was 27-10, but at times it didn't appear 27-10, if that makes sense. I said this after Iowa's loss, and I said this after the South Dakota State game. Guys, this defense is so good. It is so elite that Iowa will be in every game regardless of the offense. That is why when people started throwing out, well, they'll be lucky to win 6 games. They'll be lucky to win 5 games. I said, no, because the defense is too good. And they will be in every game as well as the special teams. Bright spot of the day, Drew Stevens. He is definitely the starting kicker moving forward. He hit a 51-yard bomb that he probably, the length of it, the power of it would have been good from 56. He absolutely hammered, just struck it right through. Got a little lucky. The bank is open. Hit the post. But nonetheless, Caleb Johnson had 77 yards returning. Nice performance. Again, he has great vision. Drew Stevens 2 for 2, and he was good on his field goal. So again, guys, my grade of the defense would be an A. Yet again, this defense is phenomenal. The rush defense at times was a little shaky. Pass defense, towards the end was a little shaky. Riley Moss did get hit with yet another back shoulder touchdown, unfortunately. But by and large, great game. Guys flying all over the field. Cooper DeJean is a baller. He is the next great Iowa DB. That may come to fruition this year. He is phenomenal. He has just an amazing future. And you could see it from him coming out of high school. The guy was a four-sport athlete. If you haven't seen Cooper DeJean's basketball highlights and you want to see a white dude just dunking on people, go and watch Cooper DeJean. He just, the dude is a freak athlete. Dang, Evan Simon had 300 yards passing. See, and that's the thing. Rutgers had more yards, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. Rutgers had more yards against Iowa's amazing defense, and that's not me saying that against the defense. I'm more saying that towards how average Iowa's offense was. Iowa's defense totally shut Rutgers out, and they still had more offensive yards than Iowa. 129 yards rushing for the Iowa Hawkeyes, only 61 for Rutgers. Great performance there. Third down efficiency, 2 for 10. Not good. That's got to improve. So listen, guys, Iowa improves to 3-1. Great win. They have a huge game against Michigan. That game can totally change the outlook of everybody moving forward. I don't think that game is an end all be all, considering the Big Ten West and kind of what we've seen from the Big Ten West. I want to pull up some of the other scores here before I go to the comments, and then we will get rolling. Purdue is still trying to hold on against Florida Atlantic. Ohio State smacking Wisconsin. Northwestern in a close one against Miami of Ohio. Michigan inched over Maryland. Minnesota beat Michigan State. Guys, two things on that. I have said since the get-go, I don't think Mel Tucker is for real. I still feel that way. But the other thing is Minnesota is probably the best team in the Big Ten West right now. It's them and Iowa. Right now, it's them and Iowa. They have had a great start to the season thus far. 34-7 victory over Michigan State. All right, let's go to the comments. Let's see what we got. All right. Ari Gold, go Hawks. Amen. Let's go. Go Hawks. Drew Kirk. Yo, what's up, dude? Fast Outdoor Food. Yo, what's up? Tom Hartle, the D outscored the O 14-13. Yep. That's second time or third time this season. Michael Morin, how about them Hawkeyes? Yep. Ari Gold, love our defense. Yeah, the defense is incredible. I said at the beginning of the season, and it doesn't take a genius to see that they were loaded, and they still are. And they're just getting better. Once Aaron Graves and some of the youngsters, Xavier Wampa, TJ Hall, get more and more reps, this defense, I think they can get even better from what we've seen. Andy gets chalk. Good to be here. I think made strides today. Yeah, they did in certain regards. It wasn't as chunky as it was. They had some momentum. The third down conversions need to improve. They hardly went to the air at all. It was primarily a ground and pound day because they had the lead from the get-go, a safe lead from the get-go. So the offense didn't really need to do anything the whole game. So it was a pretty safe performance. And as I said, I do think that it was Spencer Petrus's best game of the season. Agreed, Andy. Michael Morin, Rutgers has good defense, and I really liked what I saw from our offense. CJ Smith, was it great? No. Was it good enough? Yeah. Right. Ari Gold, Rutgers looked pretty awful. Yeah, it could be that Rutgers is worse than their 3-0 record appears, or Iowa just beat the hell out of a decent team. Only time will tell. That's why I always say at the beginning of the season, it's hard to look at the schedule and go, oh, based off of the schedule, Iowa will only win 8 games, because you don't know for sure how good or not good teams are going to be until the season starts. What a bloodbath. The boys know how to lay a licking. Yeah, Iowa does play some physical defense. East outdoor food. I thought running game was better. Yeah, it was. Running game was solid today. We saw this with Maryland last year. The offense is not going to improve. Yeah, you may be right. You may be right. Yeah, guys, I'll tell you right now. The offense was not terrible tonight, but if you think that it was good, I think you're sadly mistaken. It still has a lot of improvement that it needs to make. Defense outscored, saw that. Hose, Gumby Hose, bullies of the Big Ten. Ari Gold, this is America. Love it or leave it. Ricky Stanzi, let's go. Let's go. Tom Hartle, ground game looked good. Bryce Beck, who would have thought Tom Hartle, naked pitch to outside on 3rd and 1 was awful. Yeah, see, that's the kind of play calling that I don't understand. It's like Brian Ferentz wants to be cute and sexy when he doesn't need to be, when they can just play Iowa football. But when they could use it, we never see it. He, and I've said this before, he calls plays like an offensive lineman, if that makes sense. The offense is still a work in progress, but the last 2 weeks I've seen improvement that I like, and it should help build confidence. True. I agree with that. Gottschalk, Nolan, that was a read by Petrus, not Brian's fault. Misread by Petrus. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Ari Gold, that 51. I mean, at the same time, I'm not sure how we know that for sure. We don't have the headset, but it very well could be. I mean, Iowa does commonly give their quarterbacks a lot of room to call 1 or 2 plays maybe even more than that, at the line of scrimmage. The 51-yard bank field goal killed my under. Sorry about that, dude. Tom Hartle, Petrus looked better tonight than any other time this season. Agreed. Petrus for Heisman. Yeah, right. Andy, I had the over. I could feel it. Made my night. If Petrus doesn't win the Heisman, then it's rigged. Caleb Johnson is the one. Number 4 is fine. Don't even want to see 25 anymore. Yeah, sometimes you just got to hit the hole. And there were holes all night, and sometimes LaShawn and definitely Gavin just did not hit the holes like they needed to. Not that it was a bad night from them, because like I said, the run game was pretty good. But the offensive line was clearing holes, which is good. A bad note that I would say offensively was early in the game, the offensive line was in pass pro was giving up way too much pressure, way too much. And that needs to clean up moving forward, especially against Michigan. That definitely needs to get better. Drew, Ari Gold, love seeing our tight ends. Yeah. The tight end action, I love it. I think Iowa has one of the best tight end rooms in the Big Ten, and I don't see why they should keep using it. 1 wide receiver catch. Yeah. Speaking of that, am I wrong for thinking next week could be an upset? A lot of Iowa's true upsets have come on the heels of some rough outings offensively, and everyone goes into the game worried, but then they just find a way to win somehow, some way. Yeah. Listen, Iowa has the talent to win the game, to beat Michigan. They have the talent to compete with anybody in the Big Ten. But the offense is going to have to get better. If it's not, we're going to see a similar game as we saw in the Big Ten championship game. Is it possible Iowa can get the upset? Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially with the defense. Stephen F. Austin, 198-0 today. Yeah, that's crazy. Andy Gottschalk gives the defense a B+. Michael Morin, GOF, rough game for Riley, to be honest. Yeah, it was. Cooper might be our best cornerback. The roughing the passer call was not good. Bryce Beckett with the super chat. Thanks, brother. I really appreciate it. I'm happy with our offense. I'm happy tonight. Yeah, I am too. 3-1, guys. You can't beat it. I am not upset in the least, but at the same time, I do have to call it the way I see it. I cannot just get on a gravy train that's not there. My assessment is pretty straightforward. There were things that were better. It's offensively, it's kind of hard to really evaluate the offense because there was such a wide, well, not a huge margin, but a safe margin by Iowa standards because of how good the defense is and the time of possession that they like to play. So it was kind of, they were running, pass, run, pass. So it was kind of hard to truly assess the offense tonight. But there were things that were better, and the passes from Petrus, by and large, were on target. He had a few drop balls tonight. So, and I'm happy with the run game. Minnesota is good. Yeah, they do look good. Man, Minnesota is for real this year. Yeah, they look okay. I don't think their schedule has been super tough, but you can only play the teams that are on your schedule. And yeah, they have been getting it done. Right now, like I said, it's them and Iowa. PJ Fleck and his cream colored vest. Why don't they play a reserve quarterback? Well, because they want to give Spencer as many reps as possible because he needs them. Michigan State are the Chargers of the Big Ten right now. They win some games. They shouldn't get blown out in games. They shouldn't. And sometimes Sparty gonna Sparty. KJ needs 20 touches a game. Yeah, I think Caleb Johnson is going to be the lead back by the end of the year. What do you think QB ranking is? Are we still last in offense? Absolutely. This game did nothing to improve that. My personal ranking, I mean, Spencer is somewhere, bottom to middle. I don't think he's the worst quarterback in the Big Ten, but he's certainly not the best. He's bottom to middle. I think Spencer, the best he can do is an offense that gives him some protection with a run game that gives some breathing room for the passing game. And so the best hope for this Iowa offense is the run game continues to improve. That is my hope with this Iowa offense. Drew, I appreciate it. East Outdoor Food. Have you noticed Petrus doesn't target wide receivers? Did a receiver catch a pass second half? No, it was only one pass caught tonight by the wide receiver, Arlen Bruce. That's it. Brody Brecht was totally non-existent, which bummed me out because what we saw against Nevada, I thought that was great. Shots down the field. And I think Brody Brecht is, the sky is the limit for him. The dude is a phenomenal athlete. But again, it wasn't there tonight. Thought the final should have been 27-3, possibly 27-6. Rutgers TD play on expired clock. That is true. It was an expired clock. The last TD should not have happened. All right, guys, we are going to wrap it up here. I appreciate you guys hanging out here as always. Again, some good things, some things that need to improve. Iowa has a huge test next week. Let me see. I can't remember if the game is at home or not. Let's check that out. Iowa versus Michigan. Let's see. I can't remember if it's a home game or not. Okay, so the game is at home. Yeah, I think this is a winnable game. I am not in the least super concerned and thinking Iowa has zero chance to win this game. Iowa has talent up and down the roster. They have a great defensive line, a great defense in general. And anytime you have that, you have a chance to win. Special teams is solid. Now, if they can continue to improve the run game, anything's possible. If they beat Michigan, that would be a huge win, guys, because Michigan is fourth in the country right now. So, yeah, I'm going to have you guys locked in on that, give you guys all the coverage for that. Again, thank you for the super chat. And I will be previewing this upcoming game, Iowa, Michigan. Good stuff tonight. And the one thing I did want to add with Drew Stevens, since he is going to be the kicker, and this is a good thing considering I was concerned about it, Iowa will have him for the next 4 years. So that's good. There's a lot of youth that has been playing thus far that should be with the Hawkeyes for a few years to come. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging with me. Iowa picks up the victory, moves to 3-1. Let's go back here. They pick up a 27-10 victory, 3-1, atop of the Big Ten West. So one down, many more to go. And again, thank you guys all for hanging out here. If you're not subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button. The channel continues to grow because you guys are the best fans in the world. So thank you guys so much for that. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow and facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.